I know this is going to sound bad, but I have to say it out loud because I'm tired of everyone treating me like I'm the villain. I'm Ashley. I'm 27 now, and 2 years ago, I made what people still call the worst mistake of my life. But I'm not even sure that's true anymore. Back when I was 22, everything looked perfect on the outside. I was married to a guy named Ethan. He had a stable job in logistics. Nothing flashy, but it paid the bills. We had a small starter house in Phoenix. We had our daughter Lily. She was beautiful. Everyone kept telling me how lucky I was, how I had my life figured out so young. But inside, I felt like I was fading away. Every day felt the same. Ethan went to work. I stayed home with Lily. I cleaned. I cooked. I waited for him to come back so we could sit on the couch, watch Netflix, and pretend we were happy. Meanwhile, my college friends were posting pictures from Miami. Fancy parties, VIP sections, hanging out with celebrities, dating guys who treated them like they mattered. And I was at home, changing diapers and getting excited over a cheap dinner at Applebee's if we could even find a babysitter. Ethan wasn't a bad person. That wasn't the issue. He was just painfully average. He'd come home and talk about shipping schedules like I was supposed to care. He thought grocery store flowers were romantic. He'd suggest camping trips to save money instead of going somewhere nice. Everything about our life felt small, and I started to realize something. I didn't choose him because he was amazing. I chose him because he was safe. The worst part was everyone expected me to be grateful. My mom kept saying how lucky I was to have a man who came home every night. My sister said good men were hard to find, but they didn't get it. Stability isn't the same as fulfillment. I was 22, and I felt like my life was already over. I started following women in Miami on Instagram. Their lives looked unreal. Designer clothes, yachts, expensive dinners, men who actually knew how to treat a woman. My friend Kayla had moved there after graduation. She was dating a music producer who bought her a BMW just because he felt like it. She'd send me pictures from exclusive clubs, famous people everywhere, and I kept asking myself, how did I end up here? Ethan noticed I was unhappy, but instead of trying to understand, he got defensive. He'd ask, "Isn't our family enough for you?" Like wanting more made me shallow, like I was the problem. He couldn't see I was suffocating. The moment everything changed was when Kayla invited me to Miami for a long weekend. She said I needed to see what I was missing, and honestly, I was desperate for anything different. When I told Ethan, he didn't like it. He started asking why I needed to go out and party, like being a mother meant I stopped being a person. That's when it hit me. He didn't see me as me anymore, just his wife, Lily's mom, so I booked the trip anyway. And honestly, it felt like the best decision I'd ever made. Kayla picked me up at the airport in that BMW. Just seeing it told me I was stepping into a different world. The hotel was insane. Floor-to-ceiling windows, ocean view, room service that actually tasted good. Kayla looked incredible. Designer everything, perfect hair, perfect nails. She had this glow, the kind that comes from being treated right. She hugged me and said she missed me, but I could tell she noticed how dull I looked. We went shopping right away. She bought me new clothes because, in her words, you can't show up in Miami looking like a suburban mom. I tried to say no, but when I saw myself in those outfits, I remembered who I used to be. That night, everything changed. We went to this upscale restaurant where everyone knew her boyfriend. Then we hit a club with VIP access. Not like the cheap bars Ethan used to take me to. This was different. This was how successful people lived. And for the first time in years, I felt alive. That's where I met Marcus. He had just finished performing. When he walked into the VIP section, everyone noticed him. He had presence, confidence, that energy that comes from actually being someone. When he talked to me, he actually listened. He didn't check his phone. He didn't interrupt. He made me feel seen. He told me I was too beautiful to be stuck in a basic life. And, honestly, I believed him. When he asked for my number, I gave it to him without thinking. For the first time in years, I felt like a woman again. Not just a wife, not just a mom. The rest of that weekend felt unreal. Every place we went, every experience, it felt like the life I should have been living all along. Flying back to Phoenix felt like stepping back into black and white. Ethan picked me up with Lily in the back seat, and looking at them, it felt strange, like I was looking at a life that didn't belong to me anymore. He asked about my trip. Tried to show interest, but everything he said felt small compared to what I'd just experienced. When he suggested we go to our usual restaurant, I almost laughed. That night, when he tried to be close to me, I couldn't even pretend. All I could think about was the difference between settling and actually choosing someone who matched you. Marcus was already texting me. Studio photos, exclusive events, treating me like I mattered. And I knew. I had to choose. The next few weeks were torture, pretending everything was normal while I planned my way out. Marcus kept messaging me, reminding me of everything I was missing. Ethan noticed something was off, but instead of stepping up, he became clingy, asking where I was going, who I was texting, like I needed permission to live. It just pushed me further away. I started going out more, making excuses, anything to feel connected to something bigger than my routine. Talking to Marcus felt like breathing after being underwater. Then he invited me to spend a week in Miami. That's when I knew. I was done. When I told Ethan I wanted a divorce, he broke down. He begged, asked what he did wrong, wanted counseling, said he'd change. But that was the problem. This wasn't about fixing him. I had outgrown everything. I didn't want a better version of him. I wanted something completely different. My parents were furious. They said I was throwing everything away. Talking about stability like that was enough. But they didn't understand. I had already seen something better. The divorce was easier than I expected. I got the house, financial support. Ethan didn't fight it. He just wanted me to stay. I felt bad, but not enough to give up what I thought was my chance at a real life. Everyone called me selfish, but staying and being miserable would have been worse. The day it was finalized, Marcus flew me out to celebrate. That night, sitting in that restaurant, being treated like I belonged there, I felt like I had finally made it. I started spending more time in Miami, leaving Lily with my parents or Ethan. People said I was irresponsible, but for the first time, I felt like I was living for myself. Marcus's world was everything I thought I wanted. Artists, producers, people with ambition. But after a while, things started to feel different. He was amazing when we were together, but he was always busy, traveling, recording, meetings. I spent a lot of nights alone in hotel rooms. The women around him weren't welcoming either. Everything felt competitive, like everyone was silently judging each other. I didn't know how to fit in. Back in Phoenix, at least I knew who I was. When I told Marcus I felt lonely, he said I needed to be more independent. He wasn't wrong, but it hurt. I realized something. In Miami, I wasn't Ashley. I was just his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Ethan kept sending pictures of Lily. Soccer games, school events. He never said anything directly, but those photos hurt. She started asking when I was coming home, and I didn't have an answer. Yes, there were incredible moments, red carpets, trips, meeting famous people. But between those moments, I felt more alone than ever. And then things got worse. I started noticing other women texting Marcus late at night. He said it was business. But it didn't feel like just business. When I asked, he got annoyed. Called me insecure. That hit me hard, because Ethan questioned me because he cared. Marcus acted like caring was the problem. I ignored it. I had already sacrificed too much. But 6 months in, everything fell apart. He became distant, always busy, always excuses. I saw him posting at events I wasn't invited to, with other women. When I finally confronted him, he said something I'll never forget. He said he never promised me exclusivity. That broke me. I found out from Kayla that he had been seeing multiple women the whole time. Everyone knew. Except me. I wasn't special. I was just another option. Coming back to Phoenix was humiliating, but what shocked me the most was Ethan had moved on. He was dating someone named Emily, younger, beautiful, and apparently amazing with Lily. Seeing them together hurt more than I expected. He looked happy, really happy. My parents tried to support me, but I could feel the "we told you so" in everything they said. My friends had moved on with their lives, and I felt stuck. The house felt empty. Going from penthouses and luxury restaurants back to my normal life was crushing. I spent hours on social media, watching Marcus move on, watching Ethan build a new life. Marcus ended up with an Instagram model, younger, perfect, everything I wasn't. Ethan married Emily. They bought a bigger house, built a life. And Lily, she was happy with them. Too happy. She started talking about Emily all the time. How she helped with homework, made pancakes, did little things I should have been doing. I became the weekend mom in my own daughter's life. Now, 2 years later, I'm still here, in the same house, working a small office job, just answering phones. Marcus is engaged now, living that perfect life I thought I'd have. Ethan is thriving, promoted, married, starting a new family. Everyone moved forward, except me. And the worst part? I know I did this to myself, but I can't even say that out loud. So I sit here, scrolling through their lives, watching them live everything I thought I deserved, while I'm alone in a house that was supposed to represent my freedom, still searching for something better.